This lesson covers the gerundive, which is the future passive participle. It is covered in Book 2, Lesson 21. Remember, participles are verbal adjectives, meaning that they are adjectives that come from verbs. They act like adjectives in that they agree with the nouns they modify in case, number, and gender. They act like verbs in that participles have both tense and voice, as well as the ability to take on objects and phrases. The three participle forms that we have learned so far are the present active, the perfect passive, and the future active. The present active is formed by taking the first principal part and using the stem vowel that you would use for the imperfect. First, A, second, E, third, I-O, I-E, fourth, I-E, and adding N-S. The genitive singular, where the base will be derived from, is N-T-I-S. The present active participle declines like a third declension adjective, like par, paris. The perfect passive participle is simply the fourth principal part, with us, The perfect passive will decline like a first and second declension adjective, like bonus, The future active participle is formed by taking the fourth principal part, but instead of having us at the end, you add us is substituted instead. The future active participle also declines like a first and second declension adjective. The future passive participle, also known as the gerundive, is formed by taking the first principal part, adding the same stem vowel you would use for the imperfect and the present active participle, and then adding ndus, The gerundive declines like a first and second declension adjective, just like bonus, The gerundive translates about to be the verb, or simply to be the verb. Puer portandus is the boy about to be carried, or agenda, things to be done. Notice this is where we get the English word agenda, and puelli docendai, the girls about to be taught. When using a passive verb or participle, the subject or modified noun is being acted upon. The noun performing the action is known as the agent or the doer. With passive verbs and the perfect passive participle, we have used an ablative of agent. However, when dealing with the gerundive, the dative case is used instead without a preposition. The dative of agent will be translated like the ablative of agents with the preposition by. Because the ablative and dative cases are often the same, you may not even notice that the dative is being used instead of the ablative. When the gerundive is used with the form of sum, it is called the passive paraphrastic. The passive paraphrastic is used to express obligation or necessity. The passive paraphrastic can be translated using the helping verbs to be, have to be, must be, or ought to be, like the following: hike, agenda, sunt. These things are to be done. These things have to be done. These things must be done. These things ought to be done. The passive paraphrastic can be translated in English using either the active or the passive voice as shown above. Hike, ae, agenda, sunt. Literally, these things must be done by him, or he must do these things. The most famous example of the passive paraphrastic used by Cato to end his speeches during the Punic Wars was Carthago delenda est. Carthage must be destroyed.